Coming up right now, why one man decided to trade in his long-term rental for a 5-star resort. We'll do the math and see if he's onto something.
Also coming up, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. A law student checks herself into rehab for a bizarre addiction.
And later, Nicki Minaj is forced to apologize to fans following her arrest, who she says is really to blame for canceling her concert.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Matt Doolittle. Mitch English will be joining us a little later right here on The Big Show.
So there is a new trend at the workplace that is got everybody sort of irritated. It's called busy bragging.
Oh, geez.
Do you know this person,
No,
the busy bragger? Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I've got this, that, and the other thing. I'm so stressed out at work, blah, 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 blah.
In my last job, I was that guy.
You were the busy bragger?
Well, I would get dragged into those meetings that were just meetings about more meetings. So I always just made myself look more busy than I was, so I didn't get dragged into those.
Right, so you fly under the radar.
Yep, I don't. Yeah, because if I start not, then they ask me to do more without getting paid more.
Yeah.
Or again, I'm in a meeting about a meeting that was because of a meeting.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to be in this. Like, stop it.
It's like an Escher drawing, the meeting in the meeting,
Yeah.
the meeting. It's ridiculous. Well, it used to be humble braggers were sort of the workplace irritator. Now it's the busy bragger who is saying, like, there's so much on my plate. Oh my gosh, I'm busier than other people. I think we get to a point where maybe it's best just to kind of go to work, do your job, go home.
Well, and they're talking about these workforce people getting dragged more back in the office.
Yes.
I know my wife has to go in 3 days a week, and she just had to go in today, literally to punch in her card and go home. Sorry, babe, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus there. But I think that then everybody's readapting to these things at work, where it has become that I don't want to hang out in the office. I just want to get in, do what I have to, and go home.
I think there's something to be said for being proficient. If you can go in and do what you need to do within 4 to 6 hours, why do you have to be there for 8 hours?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I worked in a place where if you decided to try to leave before 6, you got the side eye from the boss. And I'm like, it's 5:15, I'm done. What am I just sitting here like, well, I guess I'll just sit here and waste your time and mine.
I think there's a certain moment in time, maybe if it's athletics or it's an early career, where you're first to arrive, last to leave, where that is beneficial to you.
Yeah, sometimes like that, especially if it's a performance-based thing. Like, especially if you're in sales.
Yeah.
You want to be on the phone at 8. You want to, go till you can't, till you're annoying people later in the day. But if it's honestly just contract work or computer stuff or editing or something, a lot of that's better off being done at home because you're not distracted. And then it's also just get in, finish it, and go home. Even if don't skip lunch, but if you have to, just so you can leave early. Like if I was running a business, and I've always said this, if I was running a 9 to 5, I'd be like, look, just be in by 10. You can leave around 4. Actually, I don't even care when you get your stuff done.
As long as you get it done.
As long as it's done. I used to work with this editor, and he was very kind of on the spectrum, and he just couldn't handle hours, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, look, as long as it's done by this day, I don't care when you do this, because he would work on stuff at 4 a.m. And he was just better off like that for some reason.
Yes, of course. Well, speaking of humble brags, this guy might be a humble braggart. A man relocated to a 5-star all-inclusive resort for a month after realizing it was cheaper than paying his monthly rent and other bills. Josh Kerr was scrolling the internet in search of an all-inclusive holiday deal when he realized he could use 28 nights as a time frame. When he did, he was surprised to see the cost for a month-long holiday, while still a big sum, was on par with his monthly rent and his expenses. In fact, he says it was actually a better deal. But how, you ask, right? Josh found an all-inclusive resort in Turkey with a pool and gym for around $1,100 for the 28 days. He then added up all of his bills, rent, taxes, which came close to $1,000, not including what he spent on food or drink. So he jetted off to Turkey, staying at the Port River Hotel and Spa near the beach, enjoyed all the amenities along with food and drink for less than what he was paying in the UK per month.
That makes sense. I mean, I just got done with this trip where it was our honeymoon, and we were on a Virgin Voyages we were on there for 10 days.
Okay.
There were people that had been on there for 2 months. And we were talking to them, and we're like, how? They're like, it's cheaper for us. A lot of them were from Australia, and they're like, it was cheaper for us to do this than be home because it was all inclusive, and they'd get off in these ports. And I'll tell you, the food over there was a lot cheaper. Even in Turkey, we would go to dinner, and I'm like, this is it? Let's get a second round here and pack up before we got to go back to inflation nation. So I can see where that's making sense to a lot of these people.
Yeah, and there are now these cruises where either you can live on the cruise ship, you buy basically a condo, a cabin on the cruise ship, or you're spending 2-3 years at sea just to kind of see what it's like for you.
And if it's one of these where you're getting off on a different port every day, you can maybe go have lunch out there. On our ship, it's one of those where all the dinners were included, so you weren't spending extra money on there. If you're not a big drinker, you're going to save a little bit of money. We're on our honeymoon, so you know.
Of course, you threw back.
So yeah, I can see where those are the changes we're going to see coming a lot. All right. Well, a Manhattan law school student was so hooked on cheese she had to go to rehab for her insatiable appetite for dairy. She binged almost daily on the cheapest bricks of white cheddar and Parmesan she could find. The feta fiend said she devoured an estimate 5.5 blocks of cheese per week. She said her addiction stemmed from stress. The dairy diet quickly wrecked her health, and her weight skyrocketed to 172 pounds. Ooh. So in an effort to get a hold of her cheese addiction, she attended a 2-week retreat. She was prescribed Ozempic to deal with her risk of diabetes and has lost 50 pounds since. These days, she says she reaches first for a lighter mozzarella over a Vermont cheddar or Parmesan. It's an interesting addiction. We hear alcohol, drugs, cheese. I mean, but some people do get addicted to food. Yeah. And it's a comfort thing, and it's a stress thing. But man, 172, I'll take that. I just was telling you before this, I got to drop 10 after the last month.
You've been a busy guy, though. You got married, you went on your honeymoon.
Can I say this, too? I watched a video by The Rock the other day, Dwayne, and he got off some, big 8-hour flight, and he goes, the first thing I do when I get off these flights is I go right to the gym. I'm like, yeah, because you were just in a private plane getting chauffeured to the gym to go back to the Four Seasons. I'm like, you weren't sitting in coach like me yesterday, getting nudged every 2 seconds.
Right.
No. Okay, it doesn't work out, but I could see where the stress would lead to her addiction stuff.
Yeah, waiting at the gate for your flight that may or may not get canceled or may or may not be stuck on the ground. But you think about the life of addiction that so many people live. She's got a cheese addiction. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, would you rather be addicted to cheese or something else?
Well, most addicts, they switch one addiction for another.
That's true.
So I've known people that went from being like massive, having problems to bodybuilders because they just went and focused on that for a while instead.
So their obsession gets redirected.
They just redirected an obsessive personality.
I guess the other question too is she using this as a way to get Ozempic, right? Because a lot of people are looking at different ways of trying to figure out how they might get prescribed a certain weight loss drug like Ozempic.
She's going to get those Ozempic guys pretty soon too. Nicki Minaj has apologized to fans after canceling her show in England following her arrest on drug charges in Amsterdam. Please, please, please accept my deepest and most sincere apologies, the 41-year-old rapper wrote on social media. The singer wrote that she just arrived at her hotel after spending 6 hours at an Amsterdam jail. The cancellation of the concert came hours after the 41-year-old hitmaker live-streamed herself being told by police in Amsterdam that she was under arrest for allegedly carrying drugs. Nicki Minaj was forced to cancel her Pink Friday 2 show in the UK despite the venue's efforts to push back the concert by a few hours. Here's a question. Amsterdam, you get busted for drugs?
I know that's really the story.
She must have just bring them in, or how does that? Isn't that where you go to do drugs?
I believe yes. Some would suggest that their drugs are more accessible in Amsterdam. Yes, so that's a very good question. I'm not exactly sure why or how she was arrested for what specific cause. I think we need more details for this story. Well, it's not punch bowls and cheap corsages anymore. Booker T. Washington High School transformed their Miami, Florida prom into a real-life Met Gala event. Students dressed to the nines for their fairy tale-themed bash and arrived in style in fancy cars like Rolls-Royces, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and even one couple arriving in a horse-drawn carriage. Ooh. Their arrival even included a motorcade with police escorts as family and friends watched in awe. The event's theme Once Upon a Time, Does the Shoe Fit? The well-dressed teens chose their outfits inspired by characters from Little Red Riding Hood, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Aladdin, Princess and the Frog, and Pirates of the Caribbean. Although a prom king and queen were not revealed online, it might be safe to say everyone went home one winter, living happily ever after, at least for the night.
Seems expensive, but granted, it's in South Florida, so everybody's got a BMW.
True.
But I hope they stuck to the theme better than the Met Gala people.
Yeah, these. If you looking at some of these outfits, I mean, these kids were committed 100%. They look phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for the theme. We had ours at the Grand Floridian, so that the theme was go around the monorail at Disney and.
Yeah.
You know, but that's cool that they did that, and it gets them something to look forward to and amp it up. Because some kids are even bailing on going to the proms and stuff anymore. Because they're like, I don't want to be a part of this bougie whatever. But this gave them a chance to dress up.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Head to our website, dailyflashshow.com, and share your input with us. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson. Things are getting hot in here, all thanks to 90 Day, the last resort. Take a look.
If you're gonna do this to me, we're gonna get divorced. Bringing someone into my bed, that's not okay. I'm so freaking hurt right now.
The question is, do we still love each other?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't do this.
Oh, God. Where you going, Kelly?
It's not supposed to feel like this.
Oh yes, it gets much worse from there. And here to talk about it is our very good friend and relationship trauma expert, Dr. Janie Lacey. Hey, you doing there, Dr. Janie?
Hi, Mitch. I'm doing well.
Good. All right, explain a little bit, if people are not familiar with 90 Day, this whole show, what the concept is.
So 90 Day, the last resort, comes from the 90 Day Fiancé series. So what we've done was take some of the couples who had some of the more challenging issues through their season, and we took them to a retreat called The Last Resort because this was their last resort to repair their relationship.
All righty, and you know, you get to know somebody probably after 90 days is when you start to see who they really are. So that's what makes it interesting. However, out of all of them, who's the most dysfunctional couple on the show? Can you tell me that at least?
Well, I think each couple, Mitch, has their unique experience, right? So they all have different dysfunctions, they all have different challenges. But, you know, I think the key was that with all of the couples, there's something that anybody can resemble something in their own relationship, whether it's communication, whether it was conflict resolution, whether it was infidelity, whether it was looking at compromise, right? We can take a lot of these different concepts that these couples from The Last Resort were working through on The Last Resort to any of the couples that we work with in therapy, or perhaps someone that was watching the show. So I think they all have their unique challenges. Everyone has their dysfunction, but I think when it comes down to it, it's a matter of can they repair the dysfunction, and that's why we were there at The Last Resort.
Yeah, I wish I could appreciate you. We all see some element out of that. Is there some behind-the-scenes drama maybe you can spill and let us know?
Well, I think what's happening behind the scenes, right? We're seeing the snippets actually on the show, and a lot of that was these couples, it was their real life, it was their real feelings, and especially when we look at Asuelo and Kalani. You know, Asuelo was having a lot of difficult challenges with, even though he had brought betrayal into the relationship and then now being faced with giving his wife the hall pass and then her falling in love with the person she had the hall pass with. What we didn't see is even more so of the emotional challenges that Asuelo was experiencing, because I think it's one thing when you are the betrayer and now he's sitting in the seat of being betrayed and as a result losing his family. I think it was very, very difficult to see that behind the scenes and just a lot of the emotional outcry that we were experiencing, not on camera.
Yeah, I think the word emotions is probably going to play into effect of all that. Any other crazy moments that people should expect when they're watching?
Well, good old Angela. I think a lot of times people, when they think about 90 Day Fiancé, they think about Angela and Michael. And I think with Angela, we see a lot of her explosiveness and we see a lot of her reactivities throughout the seasons of 90 Day Fiance. But on the last resort, we also see her coming to a place where she was most vulnerable through the franchise, and she was actually able to reflect on her contribution to the dynamics that she had with Michael. But there was a lot of partying and there was a lot of stuff going on outside of what we were filming. But us as therapists, we had to draw a line, and we cannot work when people are under the influence. So, those are some of the behind the scenes things that we had to struggle with. But we also understand it was a resort and people wanted to have fun.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like, all right, listen, you take me to a resort, and I ain't got to pay the bill, You're going to want that, and some imagined drama is shown there. But it does also say maybe true feelings come out because the inhibitions are loosened a little bit there. With your help, did you see any of the couples actually reconcile? And you don't have to mention which ones because we don't want to take away a lot of that. But did you get to see any success?
We saw a lot of breakthroughs, Mitch. I think a lot of times when people have their defenses up, they're in these reactive states, they're pointing the fingers at each other, that coming into showing the power of therapy, coming into a therapeutic group setting, their individual sessions throughout the retreat, was able to give them insight to what the other person was experiencing of them. Because sometimes we have to look at our relationships are a mirror. But if we're looking at the mirror as someone that's hurting us versus being self-reflective and introspective of how we're contributing to that relationship, it can cause more harm than it's helpful. So we'll see through the last resort, several of the couples having breakthrough in their own self-reflection and how they contribute to their own self-suffering in the relationship. So that won't disappoint.
You mentioned earlier about we see ourselves in other people, whatever point you want to take out. But you also mentioned infidelity. How can a couple actually overcome infidelity? Not talking about a reality source, but in real life, in life, I guess you could say.
When you think about infidelity, it's like taking a tornado and running it through someone's house. Their house was their safety. It was their place of love, of all the things. So they have a place where when it happens in their house, so to speak, they're shocked. When you think about a tornado coming through your house, there's going to be a lot of shock. There's disbelief. Yeah. There's a lot of different things happening. But one of the things that we do know, because a lot of times people do work through infidelity, Mitch, that we don't know because they're still together, is that it takes both people to have a growth mindset, but the person who's been betrayed, it's going to take some time to kind of go through that grief, PTSD symptoms, but the betrayer has to have some consistency. They have to take ownership. There has to be accountability, and that's going to contribute to them rebuilding trust and loyalty for the long term. And we know the most difficult part of rebuilding trust is 2 to 5 years of work, Mitch.
Wow, that is a long time. So something to think about if you're thinking about going on the other side. Dr. Jenny, thank you. I love having you on the show. Of course, you can check out 90 Day, of course, The Last Resort. It's on TLC. And if you want to get help with your relationship trauma, why not you check out Dr. Janie Lacey. You can go to the website at lifecounseling.solutions.com. We'll have the link on our website as well.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Matt Doolittle with this week's edition of Doing It. And this week we're doing it royally. By that I mean, let's dive into all this controversy going on with the royal family. The English equivalent of the Beverly Hillbillies with less class and understanding of what a cement pond is. Now, a lot has happened with them recently, from King Charles, who sadly has been diagnosed with cancer, but has had his own history of controversy, what with his affairs with Camilla, over his ex-wife, Princess Diana, which, sure, man, hey, whatever floats your dinghy. Now, for those of you youngins or those who have just caught up with this whole family, it's always been the controversy theory that the royals had Diana killed in a car crash so she wouldn't spill the tea on the royal family, but unbeknownst to them, there would be a whole TV show that would come out about them called The Crown. Now, we thought the worst scandal to come out of the whole family over the years was Prince Harry marrying Meghan Markle and doing some bad podcasts, a book, and an interview with Oprah, but it's just gotten worse. This picture was posted after Kate had basically been hidden from the public view for over 2 months. Then she issued a statement about all the bad Photoshop, saying, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion. The family photograph we shared yesterday."
Spot on, yeah.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
like
Very
her.
nice, right? Okay.
Come on, Kate. Look. I've played around with Photoshop for a long time, and it's, when the trial ends, come on, you could have done better than that. Most agencies noticed over 16 changes to that photo, and let me tell you, as I've recently been to the UK and look at the royals over there are looked at like Disney characters to most of them. So was this one doctored? I don't know. I mean, this looks pretty authentic to me. So there's allegations of Prince William out there cheating with this woman, the Lady Rose Hanbury, whose title is Marchioness, who has deep ties to the British royal family and is living just a stone's throw away from Prince William and Kate Middleton's residence at Amber Hall. Now, she's been a prominent figure within their inner circle. So there's also rumors that William had a kid with the Monkey Chumney. Anyway, there's also the rumors that Kate had an affair with a guy who's conveniently just committed suicide a few weeks ago, but she allegedly got pregnant by him, and that's why she was in the hospital. Then there's the part where William went off on a rager and put her in the hospital, allegedly, of course. Now that's a lot to unload. So, more like father, like son, or is it just more that the family hasn't learned from their past mistakes, that everyone praises them for really looking down on the people? Look, when I was in Europe, all they could keep asking about us over here was our political issues, our social stances. While I was there, I asked them about what they thought of the royals, and most of them had the same opinion that we do of prominent celebrity figures. We like to watch the reality show as long as it doesn't become reality and interfere with our lives, because at the end of the day, we all like to watch a good episode of the Jerry Springer Show happen in real life, and that's doing it royally. I mean, this thing is just taken on its own like circus, and it's really got a bunch of different layers, allegedly.
Well, yeah. When she was missing for such a long time, and then now these new allegations popping up. And if you're wanting to know the correct pronunciation, I know it's kind of hard. It's pronounced Timothy Chalamet.
The Duchess of Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet. Very good. Thank you there, Matty Harris, for doing it.
There are so many things that can cause nausea. Our medical expert, Dr. Ken Red Cross, explores the most common sources of nausea and natural remedies that can help in this latest Dr. Ken Red Cross to the Rescue Health Minute.
Queasiness can be caused by gastrointestinal issues, medications, or supplements, stomach flus, and motion sickness. Fortunately, there are some plant-based remedies that can calm your tummy. Ginger is an ancient herb and a flavorful root and one of the most popular remedies for nausea. It can be found in teas, lollipops, and chews. Foods that contain ginger can also ease a troubled belly. Peppermint, a species of mint, can also reduce nausea and aid in digestion. You can dissolve peppermint candy or mint in your mouth for relief. You can also drink peppermint tea or infuse it in a beverage. Cinnamon has been widely used in Asia for thousands of years. This spice can help with gastrointestinal upsets by calming the lining of the stomach. Add it to food or water, or make your own cinnamon tea by steeping a cinnamon stick in hot water. Nausea Calm by Boron uses plant-based and other pure active ingredients to relieve nausea and vomiting from everyday causes, including stomach flu and motion sickness. As a homeopathic medicine, Nausea Calm works gently on the body without risk of drowsiness or interaction with other medications, herbs, or supplements. The melt-away tablets dissolve in your mouth without food or water, so they are convenient and easy to take anytime. The next time you feel a bout of nausea coming on, you can take some deep, slow breaths, get plenty of fresh air, and distract yourself by enjoying a good movie or listening to your favorite tunes. I'm Ken Red Cross with your Dr. Red Cross to the Rescue Health Minute.
We want to hear from you. We love hearing from you, matter of fact. Why don't you check us out on our website. Our website is dailyflashshow.com. There you can find not only full episodes, but any links that we've talked about, any stories. They'll all be there waiting for you. dailyflashshow.com. We got more news, entertainment, everything in between. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Daily Flash. We love having you along for the ride.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Matt Doolittle. Mitch English will be joining us a little later right here on the big Daily Flash show. So I was in California. My wife helps operate the space convention for ISDC, National Space Society, a lot of stuff that goes over
She's
my head.
fancy and
She's
smart.
a lawyer, so she goes and
She's a
talks space
lawyer.
law. So she takes me out there so I can help out with stuff or whatever, and I like that stuff too. But I got to sit in on a panel with some big time producers. One guy is a creature maker. He did all the aliens on the Orville, and he's done stuff for Star Trek in the past. Star Trek actors were there, but one guy that was very interesting was this sound effects creator, sound mixer. And he has worked on like all of Michael Bay's films. He's worked with Spielberg. He's done all these big blockbuster movies. And one of the topics came up about AI. And of course, it's one of the biggest things. It's escalated so quick through the industry. That's what really the long strikes were about when it came to the actors and the writers. Well, one thing he said that during those strikes, he had a red letter moment in his profession when they had to get some additional audio for Nicky Stanicky, this movie they were putting out, and they needed the actor to say some words, and they couldn't. They were like, we can't use him. They didn't have it mixed where they could put it together themselves. So they're like, hey, can we use AI as a placeholder till we can get him in?
Wow.
And he's like, okay. He's like, because they had to show it to executives and stuff, so we need this thing. So they do it, and this guy has done every mixing in the world. He hears stuff. He could not tell the difference when they did that. And he said it was a placeholder, and when they did it, everybody in that room just looked around like, we're in trouble. Like then it's really started hitting them. So he's saying it's inevitable, it's gonna be used. And in the film industry and almost any industry, you just better learn how to use it. That was his big takeaway. He's like, don't use it as a tool. It shouldn't be a replacement. But it's going to help you get through blockades and stuff and do stuff quicker. But once what really those strikes were about was them not using the raw piece of that and cutting out everybody else, because they looked at that and they're like, we don't have to pay the actor to come back in to say the thing.
Exactly.
So that just really opened my eyes to like, if this guy's saying it, we're in some trouble.
Well, and the saying goes like, it's not AI that's going to take your job. It's the people who don't understand how to use AI who will lose their jobs.
Right, exactly.
And so, to your point, I mean, unless we get out in front of it and understand how it's going to affect an industry or our work in the future, I mean, it's crazy. I'm looking at social media during these NBA finals, and I'm seeing these deep fakes with Jason Tatum and Ant-Man, and you see them at these press conferences. Their mouths sync up to what they're saying. It sounds like their voices. It's not them, but it's amazing what they're able to do.
It's close. It's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's terrifying.
Dangerous. Yes.
But to his point, and this guy's been in the business for 30 years, and he said that he's had to start training on it. Luckily, he's kind of on the back end of his career, so he's like, I got about 5 years left, and then I don't have to worry about this. But he's training everybody on it.
It's a good reminder to make sure that you question everything that you see.
Yeah, especially at the end of this year for some reason. Well, a man relocated to a 5-star all-inclusive resort for a month after realizing it was cheaper than paying his monthly rent and other bills. Josh Kerr was scrolling the internet in search of an all-inclusive holiday deal when he realized he could just use 28 nights as a time frame. When he did, he was surprised to see that the cost for the month-long holiday, while still a big sum, was on par with his monthly rent and expenses. In fact, he says it was actually a better deal. But how? Josh found an all-inclusive resort in Turkey with a pool and gym for around $1,100. He then added all his bills, rent and taxes, which came close to $1,000, not including what he would spend on food or drinks. He jet set it off to Turkey, staying at the Port River Hotel and Spa near the beach, and he enjoyed all the amenities. So it's a good idea.
I can see how that's more beneficial, when, especially if the food and drink are included and you've got your own gym and spa. You're not paying for utilities. You're not paying for groceries. You're not paying for a gym membership. You're basically living the life, at a resort.
Well, you're living in a resort right here on Daily Flash. Right back.
KSA Entertainment is proud to produce and provide a robust collection of entertaining, uplifting, and timely content to broadcast, cable, and streaming platforms in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. KSA Entertainment. On point, on air.
Father's Day is coming up and graduation season is in full swing. Now, if you're totally stumped on what to get those dads and grads in your life, digital lifestyle expert Mario Armstrong is here with some gift ideas and helpful tips. Hey, Mario.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. And you're right, I've partnered with a few great brands to give you all some gift inspiration for those dads and grads out there.
So, Mario, what's the best bet for the tech-loving dads and grads?
The best choice for dads and new grads who game and innovate is HP's Omen Transcend 14 gaming laptop. This is a ultra-light device, has a powerful Intel Core Ultra processor and stunning NVIDIA graphics, also has an advanced cooling system, long battery life, and USB-C fast charge. And then I also want you to complement this with the HyperX Cloud 3 wireless gaming headset. This has precise 3D sound during gaming or communications, no dongles, no menus, just better gaming right out of the box. And that's not all. HP also has the all-in plan. I love this. It gets you all your printing essentials for one low monthly payment. With the all-in plan, you get an all brand new printer, automatic ink delivery, continuous printer coverage, and dedicated 24/7 live support. Plans start at only $6.99 a month with no upfront costs, and you can try it for 30 days risk-free. And thanks to built-in smart technology, your printer ships fresh ink to you when it detects that you're low. I love that.
And how about a resource for great deals and budgeting for our gift list?
Well, we all want to spoil the dads and grads in our lives, right? So here's a tip. Start with the PayPal app. You can click to save cashback offers right from your favorite brands like Best Buy, Ticketmaster, Walmart, and more, right on your mobile device, and they will be applied automatically when you check out. And if you want to get even more rewards, use the PayPal Cashback MasterCard to earn an additional 3% cashback on eligible purchases. It's really just a smart way to shop and to save some money.
Any other creative ideas?
Oh, for the creatives, the perfect idea for dads and grads is going to be this, the Lego Technic McLaren Formula One race car. Look how cool this is. It's a detailed model, a unique collaboration between Lego and McLaren Racing, features a V6 engine with moving pistons, working steering, suspension, and a differential. It mirrors the real car. It's designed for adult builders and car enthusiasts. It's an immersive project. It results in a stunning display piece. It even has authentic sponsor stickers on it, showcasing your dedication and craftsmanship. You can't go wrong with that. People will love it.
Thanks, Mario. Where can we go for more info?
Just head over to our website. We got all the details there at inthenews.tv.
The Army has debuted its first ever campaign focused on civilian careers. It's called Find Your Next Level. And here to talk about the campaign is Dr. John E. Deaton. He is the Deputy Director of Veterinary Sciences at Joint Base San Antonio.
My civilian career in the Army has provided me with endless opportunities. In the first place, I work with amazingly talented professionals, and we work together seamlessly with our Army colleagues. Our mission here is to train soldiers. Everyone is dedicated. Everyone's treated with dignity and respect. I'm one of the lucky people that just loves coming to work every day. Beyond that, the benefits are absolutely amazing. Very competitive salaries, very generous leave and vacation time, full health benefits, retirement benefits, retirement planning, the opportunity to work from home in a hybrid role or remote role. It's just been an amazing ride, and I clearly enjoy it. I've been here 16 years. For more information, go to ArmyCivilianCareers.com. Great website, very user-friendly, and it gives you specifics on all these 500-plus Army career paths for civilians. And it has a short survey that you can take, and it really helps align your goals and your skill sets with a career as an Army civilian.
KSA Entertainment is proud to introduce our corporate initiative, KSA Cares. KSA Cares shines a light, gives a voice, and lends a helping hand through compelling awareness initiatives. From supporting veterans to environmental awareness, KSA Entertainment is proud to produce content supporting ways to help communities all across America.
Lifestyle expert Elizabeth Warner joins us today to share some fabulous items that will keep the kids, pets, and parents happy indoors and out during the hot summer months.
Let's jump right in with Fisher-Price wooden line of toys. Now, this is a gorgeous new line of toys, 18 items to kick off. Fisher-Price is 94 years old, and yes, they've always focused on happy, healthy childhood development. It all started off with making wood toys. To celebrate that legacy, they brought out this new gorgeous line, high quality, very affordable, classic toys that will really help our kids with their development. And they're so gorgeous, they will definitely become heirlooms. Now, how do we get them up and active and outside? The Crazy Cart Shuffle by Razor. This is a kid-powered go-kart, no battery batteries to charge or maintain. Kids are going to hop on, place their feet, and shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. As they get going, when they're ready for that excitement, they lift up that drift bar and the magic begins, drifting and spinning. They're going to have pure joy and excitement. This actually will grow with them. The frame itself does adjust 5 times. It has amazing reviews. Kids, parents, grandparents, they are loving this. Now, when it comes to a screen-free entertainment, this is the Tony Box, an award-winning screen-free entertainment system. Kids place a Tony right on top of that soft cube, and the cube identifies the character. The newest cube, yes, the Marvel Tony, it's Black Panther. It comes with songs and an original crime-fighting story, but they've got a whole variety of Tonys, a little bit of everything. So have all those kids check those out and have a lot of fun playing. Now, when it comes to science, we can have fun. This is Top Secret Toys Dissect It. They're going to learn about anatomy. Yes, they're going to be discovering so much through synthetic animals. You'll see our little frog set, also going to have the bat, the piranha, the salamander, and soon to be rattlesnake. Kids are going to discover so much as they actually carve through one-of-a-kind gelatin material, discovering, yes, the skeletal structure, a full set of organs, veins, and arteries. It comes with a dissection table, 3 tools, and 2 gel refills, so they can do this 3 times. I love the 14-page learning guide. It's going to teach them all about anatomy, function of each organ, and yes, even includes a fun quiz. By the way, no harm to animals, no foul smell, no trauma. This is the way to get kids excited and happy about science. Now, I want to talk about de-stressing for a minute. This is Neato. It's brought to us by Schilling. This is going to help us de-stress. Maybe you need a little fidget toy or something to help you focus through your meetings or your school day. Well, they started the squish sensation. We can pull, stretch, smush, and squeeze. This is going to help us find our best mellow and our best chill. Some of the newest ones, we've got Ripples, the huge 2-handed squish with textile pattern. Nice Cube. It looks like an ice cube. Super hard to squish, and our Dream Drop that looks like honey. Now, to find more information on all of these great items, head over to our website, WernerInfo.com.
There's much more trending news and entertainment heading your way, but first, let's check in with our friends at the Daily Buzz right here on Daily Flash.
Why has fantasy football attracted 30 million American fans? We tapped a Hall of Famer for insight.
I'm watching all these football games because I've got a vested interest, not in the teams winning or losing, but in the individual players. And so I think that's the genius of this idea.
Professional football was almost a fantasy for the Bus because asthma nearly grounded his career as a teen. So he's working with AirServe to help make sure everyone can breathe clean air.
The dust that's in your home, if you have pets, that dead skin that's from us and from pets, all those things are circulating in your home. And so you need to be conscious of that.
Now they're teaming up for the ultimate fantasy football draft party.
It's in Nashville on August the 10th, and everyone can register at airserve.com/fantasy draft. You can win an opportunity to come to the draft party with me in Nashville. And I'll see you there.
Preeclampsia is the leading cause of maternal and fetal deaths in the world, and the biggest challenge is catching it early.
Most symptoms of preeclampsia are not felt by the woman, or she thinks it's just a normal part of pregnancy. Most of us, as you know, can't feel our blood pressure and can't tell if we're becoming anemic.
And with a long list of risk factors from age, weight, and family history to type 2 diabetes, kidney and liver disease, and autoimmune conditions, early screenings are critical.
LabCorp has recently launched 2 protein-based blood tests where we can measure how well your placenta is developing blood vessels, and that helps us determine the risk of developing preeclampsia. The best time to test these different proteins is between the 11th and 14th week of the pregnancy.
The results help doctors determine if treatment or enhanced monitoring is necessary. Get more info at labcorp.com. For the 35,000 Americans diagnosed with small cell lung cancer each year, prognosis is grim.
It grows very fast, it spreads early and quickly, and it tends to present late. And because of that, the 5-year survival for these patients is only 3%. On average, they'll only live for 3 to 5 months, after the time that they're diagnosed.
But the FDA just granted accelerated approval of a breakthrough treatment option.
Imdelltra is an antibody that has two arms. One of the arms grabs onto the cancer cell. The other arm grabs on to a white blood cell in the patient's body, and it pulls that white blood cell into the cancer. And in a very directed way, it unleashes the power of the patient's own immune system to basically kill the cancer cell.
And patient survival time was tripled. Get more info at imdelltra.com. Peripheral artery disease is the blockage of leg arteries and comes with dangerous consequences. So what are the symptoms?
Pain or cramping in the legs when people are walking, and eventually can become pain or numbness in their feet when they're just resting, or it can cause wounds to form, and these wounds can eventually lead to amputation if not treated.
And patients are more likely to have heart attacks and strokes. Treatments have only been short-term solutions, but the new Esprit BTK dissolvable stent offers new hope.
When it's delivered to the area that's closed up and the plaque is pushed back, Esprit actually releases a drug. This drug is going to prevent that vessel from closing up again. But also Esprit is there to keep the leg artery open. Now, the artery doesn't need to be supported forever, and so after about 3 years, Esprit actually has dissolved and gone away, and leaving that artery in the leg healed.
Get more info at pad-info.com.
Follow The Daily Buzz on social media.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Hey, looking for a summer vacation that caters to all ages and budgets? Well, joining us now to share some exciting updates and experiences awaiting guests with the MSC Cruises is Sarah Greaves-Gabadon, also known as Jet Set Sarah. She's a travel expert and self-described care evangelist. Sarah, where are you at right now?
I am here in the beautiful port of Miami on a beautiful MSC Cruises ship.
That sounds like so much fun. Where is MSC Cruises actually sailing to this summer?
Well, they're sailing to the Caribbean, which is my favorite warm weather destination and the world's favorite, let's face it. They sail from Port Miami, but not just here, also from Port Canaveral, from New York. And as of next April, they'll be sailing from Galveston next year.
All right, outside of this summer, where can folks go if they want to look forward to a MSC cruise?
Okay, so first of all, you're going to go to the Caribbean, and MSC has a whole bunch of these cruises. Some of them are 3 or 4 nights for people who just want to dip their toe, as it were, in cruising. And they have longer cruises for people who are experienced. But you're going to go all over the Caribbean. But you're going to go to a very special place also, MSC's own private island in the Bahamas. It's called Ocean Key. It's a marine reserve, so you can have sun, sea, and sustainability all at the same time. It's also a great destination for solo cruisers. We're seeing a lot of solo cruising this year. And of course, if you're part of a group or a family, you can enjoy all these water sports, paddle boarding, kayaking, or you can just be like me and just laze on that white sand beach.
And where can we go to learn more and actually book a cruise?
They need to go to msccruises.com, and they should go quickly because the cruise line is having a Memorial Day sale and cruises start from just $179. So, I mean, come on, you got to catch that wave, right?
Thank you there, Sarah. Thanks for joining us, and we'll make sure we post this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
So Matt, what do you like about cruising? Because I know you and your wife are big cruisers.
Yeah, we just got into it last year because she had never been on one. So we went on, one out of Cape Canaveral here. She loved it. We did it was a quick 3-dayer. Then we went on a 4-day. Then she went on a 5-day without me. And then we ended up on a 10-day, all within a year. So what I love it is just it's self-contained. You don't have to worry about losing anybody.
That's a positive.
I mean, hey, my crew, you never know. And it's got everything you need that you would get out of a resort without really having to travel too far for it. You don't have to go around a lot if you want. Some of them, I know back in the day, I did one with my family when I was a kid, and they had no entertainment in the rooms. Now they got a whole thing for you.
Well, that does it for us. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.